Hey guys, Pamela McElroy here. A couple days ago I did a short video on the hip hinge on how to learn the kettlebell swing. So we covered how to do the good morning stretch with the PVC along your back and the 3 points of contact. We also covered the kettlebell Romanian deadlift and then doing the actual kettlebell swing. So today I wanted to go over the couple variations of swings that you can do. This of course is not all of the swing variations that are out there, but the ones that are probably going to be used most frequently, easiest to implement into a group setting or even personal training. Some of the other ones, they're a little bit more advanced and we can get into them at a later date. So the first one we actually did at the end of that last video on mastering the swing and learning the swing and the hip hinge is just a regular two-handed swing. Looks like this, quick refresher. You're going to stand back from the kettlebell, you're going to hinge at your hips, hike the kettlebell back behind your hips, and then stand all the way up to the top, fully extending the hips and the knees. So this is your most basic two-handed kettlebell swing. Now we're going to go over the single arm swing. So the lower body movement stays the same. It's still that good hip hinge, full hip and knee extension at the top. We're going to do single arm swings. So this one is the most important component next to the hip hinge, of course, is to keep the shoulders back. So you want to keep them down and back or retracted. You don't want the weight of the kettlebell, since it's that single arm, to pull your shoulder forward. All right. So single arm swing. Still hinging, one hand on the kettlebell, hike it back behind your hips. Keep your thumb pointed down, still a nice loose grip on the kettlebell, shoulders back. From there, we're going to go into the hand-to-hand swing. So if you've mastered doing single arm swings on one side, then we're going to simply switch to hand-to-hand swings. And we're going to alternate left to right, left to right. The exchange is going to happen at the top of the swing, and you'll notice that's when the kettlebell is weightless, and that's when you're going to want to switch hands, not at the bottom. So starting point is the same, hike it back. Notice here the weightlessness, so I can let go of it and quick grab it. Next up on our swing progression, it's technically not a swing, it's the kettlebell high pull, but sometimes keeping the weight a little bit closer to the body, which you'll do in high pulls, is a little bit more comfortable for people. There are different types of high pulls that you could do, different variations. We're just going to cover the one variation today because it does mimic a swing with bent elbows for the most part. Starting point is the same, hike the kettlebell back behind your hips. Elbows are going to come up nice and high. We're going to keep the kettlebell closer to the torso than we do when we have a straight arm swing. All right, you can change the height here, chest height, a little higher. It's just a natural curve on the up-down portion. After you've gotten the swing down 100% and your form is good and you feel comfortable with the movement, we're going to start to add in some distance. So we're going to walk. So there's two variations of walking swings we're going to cover in this video anyway. So forward walking swing is the first one, and then lateral is the second one. So to do the forward walking swing, you want to give yourself some space. This could be a distance component in your training. It could be a time component in your training. It could be the number of steps versus an actual length. So you're going to get started just like you do a regular swing. Hike the kettlebell back behind your hips. I like to do a few to get started so I can feel that weightless point. When the kettlebell is weightless, I'm going to step 1-2 small steps with each foot, moving forward, but keeping my form solid the entire time. All right? And you'll notice too when I stepped that my feet line up with each other and I'm not staggering my stance very much. And our final swing variation for this series is the lateral swing. So we just covered the forward swing. This one is also a walking component, but we're gonna move to our left as well as to our right. So just like we started the forward walking swings with a few test swings or a few initial swings, I'm gonna do the same thing here. And it's real important that you step when the kettlebell is up. So you're gonna step in with the right and out with the left. When you're moving to your left, and then you're gonna step in with the left and out with the right when you're moving to your right. As I'm sure you can all imagine, if you stepped backwards, you'd step on the downswing, and that wouldn't feel very good on your knees. So think about it a little bit. You can practice it without the kettlebell first. That would be a good starting point, just so that you get the rhythm down, that it's feet apart when the kettlebell's down, feet are together when the kettlebell's up. Down and apart, together and up. So there you have it, a couple different swing variations that you can add into your training programs, just to vary it up a little bit, make things interesting, so you're not always doing the same exact exercise every time. Thanks a lot.